Hello everyone, and welcome to Phenomenal. I'm your host, the mysterious incarnation of known evil, or Mike for short. With the Halloween season upon us, we thought it would be appropriate to show you all a challenge run to celebrate the occasion. This is the tale of how one man conquered the entire Hoenn region with a legion of dark warriors. In other words, this is a hardcore Nuzlocke of Pokemonemerald using only dark types. Our usual rule set applies, so I'll show it here and leave it in the description. Now, let's get started, shall we? Our story begins by naming our avatar, the leader of our dark army. I name him after the most evil thing that pops into my head, sales tax. Once we arrive in Little Root Town, we can begin gathering our forces. When we find Professor Birch being attacked by a wild Pokemon, he pleads with us to help him. Because we need him to give us our Pokeballs, I decide to help him just this once. I choose Trico as my starter, so my rival will get a fighting type later. After all, we can't make things too easy. However, this Trico won't be in our services for long, because once we get our Pokeballs, we catch our true starter on Route 101, a Poochyena. As a representation of evil and darkness, I have to come up with a proper name for him, and so I name him Politician. Yeah, it's low-hanging fruit, I know. On Route 102, we catch an important recruit for our upcoming battle with Roxanne, a Seedot I named Landlord. Look, I'm just getting some of the easy ones out of the way. On Route 104, we get the Bullet Seed TM and get our 2 soldiers up to level 15, so Seedot can evolve into Nuzleaf and embrace her inner darkness. The battle with Roxanne takes a bit longer than I would have liked, but Landlord sweeps through her team with relative ease. We then come across a member of Team Aqua stealing from the Devon Corporation. While it's not really my style to stop perfectly good acts of evil in progress, our journey requires Hoenn to remain in its status quo, and so we follow the grunt to the Rusturf tunnel and defeat him while also helping Mr. Brawly. Upon returning the stolen goods, we meet with Mr. Stone. As president of a major corporation, I'm happy to be among a fellow monster. And when he asks me to deliver a letter to his son and some goods to a shipwright, I simply can't refuse. We then find Mr. Brawly and get him to take us to Dewford Town. When we arrive in Dewford, we head to Granite Cave to find Steven. We also get our next recruit, who is essential for our upcoming battle against Brawly, a Sableye I named Textbooks, after the glorious college textbook industry. After delivering the letter to Steven, we go and face Brawly. Normally, this would be an impossible obstacle for our fledgling army. However, Textbook's ghost typing means that Brawly's team can't do anything to us. They can only bulk up as Textbooks chips away at them until they succumb to the shadows. We then make our way to Slightport City, where we encounter Team Aqua intimidating Captain Stern. While again, I don't necessarily want to squash evil while it's afoot, Mr. Stone asked me to deliver these goods, and I am a man of my word. With Team Aqua thwarted and the goods delivered, it's time to head to Mauville City for our next gym battle. Before we can get there, our rival May appears on Route 110 to put the fear of God in us. Her combustion is a clear threat, but Textbooks and Politician are able to eke out a victory against her. Our third gym battle is against Wattson, and this man is truly a conduit for evil. He has 4 Pokemon, including a Voltorb that knows self-destruct, and a Magneton. At this point, our only real options are to get the black glasses that buff up Politician, and to get the Attract TM in Verdanturf Town to teach to Landlord. Politician chomps through his Voltorb and Electrike with no problem, but goes down to his Magneton. Textbooks is able to finish it off, and we switch into Landlord and use Attract to whittle away and defeat his Manectric. Politician's death is unfortunate, but like all politicians, they can be easily replaced, so we head back to Petalburg Woods to catch another Poochyena and level her up. Now that we can use Rock Smash, we begin our journey through a large stretch of Hoenn that is mostly uneventful, until we encounter Team Magma in Meteor Falls, where we find them stealing a meteorite and heading to Mount Chimney. Team Magma plans to use the meteorite's power to cause Mount Chimney to erupt and expand the landmass. While this is a respectable evil plan, we can't exactly conquer the region if it's covered in lava, so we make our way to Mount Chimney to put a stop to it. Here we battle Team Magma's leader Maxie. Landlord takes down his Mightyena and does some damage to his Camerupt before we switch into Textbooks to finish off the Camerupt, as well as his Zubat. After stopping Team Magma's plan, we head down to Lava Ridge Town for our next gym battle. Flannery is also a monster, with a team of 4 Pokemon, including an overheat spamming Torkoal. All we can really do is teach Politician Dig and Pray. Politician takes down her Nummel, Slugma, and Camerupt, but can't handle the heat against her Torkoal. Landlord also suffers the same fate. Textbooks, after being infatuated by Attract and tanking Torkoal's remaining overheats, is able to finish the fight with 3 HP remaining. After that devastating battle, we need to rebuild our forces. Fortunate for us, we can replace both Politician and Landlord. But first, we head to the desert on Route 111 to catch our next recruit, a Cacnea I named Paid Parking, because that concept is just truly abhorrent. From there, we go to Route 117 to catch another Seedot, and go to Route 116 to catch another Poochyena. With our Dark Army back at full strength, our next task is to return to Pebbleberg City to defeat our father Norman. We definitely take after our old man, because his team strikes fear into my heart. His whole team presents a threat, but the biggest problem is his slacking, and without Dig, we have no choice but to defeat it head on. We make a quick detour to the Fiery Path to get the Toxic TM and teach it to Paid Parking as an insurance policy. Politician gets confused by Teeter Dance, but is able to break out of confusion and take out his Spinda. He sends out Slacking next, and we're forced to chip away at it as we switch between Politician and Textbooks, before I decide to sacrifice Politician to get the kill with Landlord. We switch between Textbooks and Landlord against his Vigoroth for a bit, before switching into Paid Parking to set up Leech Seed and Toxic. With the added damage, Textbooks is able to take down the Vigoroth. Linoon comes out last, but since it only knows normal type attacks, we win the fight due to our immunity. After the battle, we get the Surf HM and walk over to Route 104 to get another Poochyena like the endless fodder that they are. With Surf, we can now go to Route 118 and get the Good Rod, which means we can add fresh blood to our ranks. We catch a Carvana on Route 118, and I name him Automated Customer Service because we live in truly dark times. After leveling him up, we then return to Pebbleberg City to catch a Corphish that I name Organized Religion. Come on guys, you knew it was coming. We then level her up and make our way through routes 118 and 119, before we're blocked by Team Aqua's attack on the Weather Institute. We defeat Team Aqua and save the hostages, so we can finally progress further, until May appears to challenge us once again. Her Combusken is no longer really a threat due to our 2 water types, so we easily beat her. We then arrive in Fortree City and proceed to Route 120 to catch our last recruit, an Absol I name Corporate Greed, the darkest concept in existence. We also meet up with Steven, who gives us the Devon Scope, meaning we can now challenge Winona. Paid Parking evolves into Cacturn, but she won't be of much help in the next fight. Winona's team is formidable. I mean, a dragon dancing Altaria with Earthquake is no joke, but our forces are that much stronger now that we have 2 Ice Beam users. I encountered some technical difficulties when recording this fight, so I don't have any footage, but we defeat Winona without much resistance, using Textbook's Shockwave to take out her Pelipper and Automated Customer Service's Ice Beam to finish the rest of her team. We then make our way through Route 120 and onto Route 121. Where we encounter some Team Aqua grunts heading to Mount Pyre. Since we need Hoenn to continue to be, not submerged underwater, we have no choice but to keep butting heads with these fellow evildoers. We reach Mount Pyre and ascend to the summit, where Team Aqua's leader Archie informs us that Team Magma got here first and stole the blue orb, before leaving with the red orb himself. We now have to go back to Lava Ridge Town, so we can return to the Jagged Pass and enter Team Magma's hideout. I have to say, while I can appreciate a good evil lair, I am a bit concerned about everyone's close proximity to giant pools of lava. I may be evil, but even I can see the value in OSHA regulations. We finally reach Maxie as he attempts to summon Groudon, but the beast flees, and he turns his anger on us. Automated Customer Service takes down his Mightyena with 2 Surfs, and we get the freeze on his Crobat, so we finish him off as well as his Camerupt. After dealing with Team Magma, we now need to stop Team Aqua. We return to Slayport, where Captain Stern announces his discovery of the underwater cavern where Kyogre dwells. Archie happens to be there and proceeds to steal his submarine. We then storm the Aqua hideout outside of Lily Cove City, but we're stalled long enough for Archie to get away. With nothing more we can do, we surf eastward to Moss Deep City for our next gym battle. Tate and Liza are psychic-type users, meaning we should have the advantage. But Sunny Day and Solar Beam are nothing to scoff at. Politician and Textbooks double-team the Xatu before it can set up a Sunny Day. When the Soul Rock comes out, it's able to set up Sunny Day, but it doesn't matter because Textbooks takes it down with a Shadow Ball. I decide to keep Politician in and switch Textbooks out for automated customer service. Politician survives Cladal's earthquake, so we're able to take it out, leaving only the Lunatone left. And because it only knows Psychic-type moves, we're able to take it down with no problem. After the battle, we find Team Magma on their way to the Space Center. After wading through the grunts, we find Steven confronting Maxie, who reveals his plan to steal the Space Center's rocket fuel to then dump into Mount Chimney and force it to erupt. While I love the plan, we team up with Steven to put a stop to them. We sweep through most of Maxie and the admin's teams with automated customer service before switching to Politician at the end. Maxie and his grunts flee, and Steven invites us to his home and gives us the Dive HM, meaning we can now pursue Team Aqua. We then surf to Route 128 and dive down to the seafloor cavern. We make our way to the inner part of the cave and find Kyogre when Archie appears and challenges us to battle. We start with Landlord against his Mightyena and do some damage before switching to Politician to take it down. When Crobat comes out, it confuses us, so we switch into Organized Religion, who also gets confused but lands an Ice Beam. We then switch into Automated Customer Service, who survives a crit wing attack before landing an Ice Beam. Finally, we switch into Textbooks to take the Crobat out, but switch into Landlord when his Sharpedo is sent out. We almost finish it with Giga Drain, but it confuses us with Swagger and we hit ourselves for a lot of damage. We then send out Paid Parking to finish the job. For some reason, that battle really was a team effort. I almost feel proud of our band of miscreants. With Archie defeated, the Red Orb awakens Kyogre, who then flees, and we learn from Team Aqua that Kyogre's awakening has caused a torrential downpour. Maxie and Team Magma appear and criticize Team Aqua's actions, because they were clearly in the right, before we all return to the surface to witness the extreme weather. Maxie and Archie agree to put aside their differences, and Steven appears to inform us that the epicenter of the phenomenon is at Sootopolis City. We make our way there, and Steven leads us to the Cave of Origin, where we meet Wallace and learn about how Rayquaza stopped Groudon and Kyogre in the past. With the region's stability in the balance, we go to Route 129 and find the Sky Pillar, where upon reaching the apex, we find Rayquaza, who then flies off to confront the Fighting Titans. Upon returning to Sootopolis, we find Groudon and Kyogre still fighting, until Rayquaza appears from the heavens to shut their shit down. With peace restored to the Hoenn region, we can finally get back to our conquest of it, meaning it's time to battle Sootopolis City's gym leader Juan. His double-teaming Kingdra is always frightening, but our forces should be more than capable to defeat him. Paid Parking gets confused by Sweet Kiss, but hits through the confusion to take out his love disc. She then snaps out of confusion to take down his Celio. When the Kingdra comes out, we switch into Automated Customer Service and finish it with Crunch. He then sends out Whiscash, so we send in Landlord to tank an Earthquake, and nearly one-shot it with Giga Drain. Juan heals, but we take it down with 2 more Giga Drains, and do the same to his Crawdon. With the last gym toppled, we can finally reach the Pokemon League. We make our way to Evergrande City to enter Victory Road. Here, we're challenged by a determined Wally, and I gotta be honest, it brings me no joy to sweep through his entire team with Automated Customer Service. I may be evil, but I'm not heartless. We quickly proceed through Victory Road and arrive at the Pokemon League. Now, we can begin preparations for the final battle. We make a quick detour to Route 119 to get a Leaf Stone and finally evolve Landlord into Shiftry. From there, we also replace Politician with the objectively better Corporate Greed. With movesets finalized, and everyone at Wallace's level cap of 58, it's time to defeat our final opponents and usher in an age of dark calamity over Hoenn. First up is Sidney, who, as I'm sure many of you are all aware of, does not pose much of a threat. This clown claims to be a Dark-type specialist, but he merely adopted the Dark. We were born in it, molded by it. Automated Customer Service one-shots his Mightyena, Cacturn, and Shiftry, but is unable to take down his Crawdon before it sets up 2 sword stances. We switch into Landlord as he heals, and finish it with Giga Drain before taking down his Absol with 2 Brick Breaks. Next is Pheobe, whose ghost types don't stand a chance against our army of darkness. Automated customer service takes a bite out of her first Dusclops and bayonet, and lands a strong surf on her Sableye while we tank a weak Shadow Ball. She heals, but we finish it with 2 crunches. Her second Dusclops survives a crunch, but hits a weak Earthquake, meaning we finish it with the next attack. Finally, her second bayonet suffers the same fate as the first. With the easy 2 out of the way, things get more difficult against Glacia and her ice types. We start with Landlord against her Celio and go for Fake Out. It survives a Brick Break, and then sets up Hail. She heals, but we take it out with 2 Brick Breaks. She then sends out her second Celio, and we go for a Giga Drain, which gets us back to full health. This was the right call, as she lands a powerful Blizzard that we barely survive, and the subsequent hail damage brings Landlord down to 6 HP. We then take out the Celio with another Giga Drain. She then sends out Wall Ring, and we stay in and get a lucky crit Giga Drain. Her first Squigly comes out next, and we hit a strong Brick Break before it lands an Ice Beam. We're able to finish it with another Brick Break next turn. When her second Glalie comes out, we switch into Corporate Greed, eat an Ice Beam, and take it down with 2 Flamethrowers. Now we have to face Drake and his Dragon types, meaning it's Ice Beam spam time. Automated customer service one-shots his Shelgon and Altaria. When his Kingdra comes out, we go for Crunch as he sets up a Dragon Dance. It survives, but he greedily goes for another Dragon Dance, so we finish it with another Crunch. Next is his Flygon, who goes down to a single Ice Beam, and the same goes for his Salamence. You gotta love a Sharpedo. With the Elite Four defeated, the only thing standing in our way is the champion Wallace. As a Water-type trainer, his team can be problematic, but our ranks are still full, and we're ready for a victory. We lead with Landlord against his Wailord, where we start with Fake Out and finish it with a crit Giga Drain. When the Milotic comes out, I know someone is going to die, and I'd rather it not be Landlord. So we switch into Organized Religion and tank an Ice Beam. It then poisons us with Toxic, so we hammer away at it with Strength until the bitter end. We then send in Landlord to finish the job. When Tentacruel comes out, we switch into Automated Customer Service and avoid a Toxic to take it down with Earthquake. Ludicolo comes out next, so we switch into Corporate Greed and shake off a Giga Drain before taking it out with 2 Aerial Aces. Next up is Whiscash, so we switch into Landlord to take it down with 2 Giga Drains. Finally, he sends out Gyarados, and since it can't do much to us, we stay in and sap away at its health until there's nothing left. With Wallace defeated, I now stand atop the Hoenn region as the strongest trainer, and together with my denizens of the night, we shall begin a new era, not of land or sea, but of total, inescapable darkness. And so, my dear viewers, that concludes our story. I hope you enjoyed the video, and be sure to check out our channel. Happy Halloween, and remember, stay phenomenal.